Yeah, certainly a generational impact at Temple Israel for David Tisdale. 45 years of service over there, culminating with that celebration late last week. And as we talk about generational impact, you said it yourself, his daughter, a member of the clergy over at Temple Israel. Joining us now on the program is Rabbi Jennifer Kaluzny, who is David Tisdale's daughter and was part of that big celebration on Friday. Rabbi, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on to talk about your dad's impact on your congregation. Let's just begin with that. What impact did he have on ultimately leading you into the clergy and to your current position as one of the rabbis at Temple Israel?
Well, I was raised by my parents in a Jewish home where Judaism was always warm and loving and fun. And watching him work at Temple Israel showed me what hard work and dedication and love for a place and love for an institution really looks like. And at the same time, ensuring the Jewish community's future at Temple Israel. And I wanted to be part of that. I looked to my father as just a penultimate example of a mensch, which in Yiddish means just a good person, a good soul. And I wanted to share in the work that he was doing. And my route was a little different. It wasn't as an executive, it was as a rabbi.
And so how did his work on the executive side and what you saw from him over those years, how has that helped to inform you now and your leadership position at Temple Israel?
So, one of the most important things that he taught me was every single congregant is important. And every life cycle that they are experiencing, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a baby naming, it doesn't matter how many I might have attended or how many I might have officiated at, it is their one. And for me as a clergy person, for him as an executive, we always worked as a team to make sure that that family had the most meaningful and moving experience that we could possibly give them. And he taught me that it's about the people. That's what makes a congregation is the people. And so I watched my dad greet every single person that walked in that building for my entire lifetime. And I try to do that as well. I try to put together family trees. I try to catch up with people as much as I can because that's why we're there. At the end of the day, that's why we're there.
Take us through also your experience working with your dad, because that's got to be an interesting dynamic to be growing up in that temple, to be going there throughout your life, to then join the clergy, and then be working right alongside someone who's had such a big impact on that congregation.
You know, I've told my dad many times that working with him has been the best part of my rabbinate, and it really has. Um, I've loved it. My father and I get along so well. We don't argue. And what's really amazing is that we learned how to have a professional relationship such that if a stranger walked in, they probably wouldn't know that we're related. But at the same time, we've remained incredibly, incredibly close. And when I was hired at Temple Israel 20 years ago, he used to joke that I was hired in spite of him. And I did feel because I was David Tisdale's daughter that I had to prove myself. And you know what? That was okay. That was okay because my dad showed me that I could do it. I could show that I was there because I deserved to be there. And 20 years later, I believe I've succeeded. And he has been nothing but my biggest cheerleader, my biggest support. And I told him this weekend that whenever I drive into Temple Israel and I see his car in the parking lot, just makes me feel better. And I will miss that very much.
Rabbi Jennifer Kaluzny is with us from Temple Israel as we celebrate 45 years of her father's service to the temple. David Tisdale retiring after 45 years as a volunteer and an executive over at Temple Israel. That celebration happening early on in August. And Jennifer, for your family, what was that moment like to see so many people from over the years at Temple Israel, including current congregants that you're serving, coming back into that building to celebrate the legacy that your father's left behind?
You know, my father does so much of his work behind closed doors. There is so much of his work that we don't know about because he believes in discretion if a family needs help. And he sends 100 letters a day congratulating people, and he makes 100 calls a day checking in on people, and we don't know about most of it. And so everybody there was coming to, in a way, say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping us get back on our feet. Thank you for cheering me on. And so for us, knowing what he was doing behind the scenes, maybe not the details, but knowing what he was doing, to see people come and celebrate him, there are really no words, because he's never asked for any recognition for anything that he's done. And we've only been waiting to celebrate him. So as our a family, it was perfect. It was perfect, and we just sat there and smiled, and we were just so thrilled that we finally got the chance to celebrate him.
We had a chance to talk to him in the weeks leading up to this celebration, and we asked him what was next after 45 years of being involved in the temple. That's been so much a part of his life over those 45 years. And he said, I'll probably just find some other volunteer opportunity. That was the first thing he listed on there. And so what does that really say about what this meant to him, all these years of service?
That's who he is. You know, my dad always says he's not a golfer, he doesn't play cards. That's not the kind of retirement that he's looking for. He's worked his entire life. And after devoting yourself, you know, as a volunteer, as a professional to an organization for half a century, there's no way he's not going to do something else just like that in his retirement, because he finds so much meaning from it. He feels grateful, and I'm sure he told you that he feels grateful to be able to do what he does for the community. So I'm not surprised at all. He's going to keep himself busy. He's going to give of his time and his talents to another very lucky organization, I'm sure, because it fills him up. That's what fills him up.
Rabbi Jennifer Kaluzny is with us from Temple, Israel on today's edition of The Splash Live. Her father, David Tisdale, retiring after 45 years as a volunteer and an executive over at Temple, Israel. Rabbi Kaluzny, before we let you go, anything else you'd like to say about your father's lasting impact at the temple and the lessons that your congregation has learned from his service?
I think that my father taught the power of service, whether it be volunteer or paid. And the longevity of his career also taught a great lesson in dedication. And he always said it was a labor of love. He also owns his own real estate business, but this was his love. And I think it taught everybody what it means to devote yourself for a lifetime to something that means something to you, to something that matters to you, and also to ensure that whatever that is safe and secure and ready for the next generation to take over. And I think that that's one of the lessons that he taught, is that if you put your love and your heart and your soul into something, you can make a difference, you can make an impact, and then you can proudly hand it over to the next generation.
It's not work if you love what you do. It's just something else that you do each and every day, and you do it with intensity and with a fervor that helps other people in the community. Rabbi Kaluzny, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.